Math 7, Section 3.1, Adding Algebraic Terms. First, we are going to learn how to represent algebraic expressions using bar models. So we can do algebra like 2x plus x, we've seen that, and you can add the like terms. So this is a 2, this has an understood 1, so it becomes 3x. But let's try to represent it in a different way to see if it helps us to understand things that are not whole numbers. For example, 2/3 x, we could write out this bar that shows the whole thing is x. Okay, this whole thing is x. So each one of these would be 1/3 of x. Now we want 2/3 of x, so we could represent that by grouping this and getting 2/3 x. If we do this with something that says 0.5 y, we could draw this bar. We could divide it into 10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Remember, 9 lines makes 10 spaces. So let us make this whole thing equal to y. Each one equals 0.1 y. So this one equals 0.1 y. So if we want to say 0.5 y, this is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, and 0.5. So all of this together makes 0.5 y. Had to make it big to encompass that. Anyway, let's try a third one. C says 3/2 p. Well, 3/2 is bigger than 1, so we know that 3/2 is going to be more than just p. But first, let's just draw out p. So if we draw it here, p, and it's in 2, we know that that is 2/2 p. It's basically just 1 p. And each one of these is 1/2 of p. But we want 3/2, so we have 1/2, we have 2/2 p, and then we can add a third box the same size that would be 3/2 p. So we would get in total 3/2 p, which is bigger than just 1 p. Okay, let's represent D 1.2 q. So again, let's draw out q. Q would be separated into just 0.1 fragments, so it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Each one is 0.1 p. So this whole thing is, or q, sorry, q. So this whole thing is just q, but we need 1.2. So we have 1 q. We would add 1.1 q and 1.2 q. So this whole thing would equal 1.2 q. Okay, let's do this in another way, a way that we can simplify algebraic expressions by adding things like this. So simplify algebraic expressions with decimal coefficients by adding. Okay, so you can simplify an algebraic expression like 0.7x plus 0.3x by adding the two like terms. So if we represent this in a bar, and this whole thing is split into 10 because it would be x, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Each one is 0.1x. Then we could say that this first one, 0.7, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. Okay, we want to add this to another one. So let's say this whole thing is x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And 0.3 is going to be 1, 2, 3. So we have this whole thing plus this little thing. So we have 7 plus 3, and that is equal to saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well, we have the first 7 to color in for this one, and then we add those 3, so we have 0.7 x, and then we have 0.3 x, and that whole thing gives us just x. So it's like 1x. So basically, this problem here in the beginning is going to equal 1x, which is equal to x, and x is our answer for that. Okay? Here we go. Example 1. So example 1 says simplify the expression 0.9p plus 0.7p. So let's go ahead and draw the bar. Here is p, so we'll divide into 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And let's color in the first 0.9. So that is p. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those all put together are 0.9p. We only have one left, and we need to add another 0.7. So let's add on to that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we have 7 spaces. So this whole thing is 0.7p. And then, when we add them together, we see that this is p. So after p, we have, this is 1p, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, and 1.6. So all together, we have 1.6p. Therefore, this expression, 0.9p plus 0.7p, equals 1.6p. Go ahead and do guided practice 1, 2, and 3. Next, simplify algebraic expressions with fractional coefficients by adding. So before we did decimals, now we're going to do fractions. Okay, similar thing. So if we want to add 1/2 a plus 1/4 a, it could be simplified like this. Let's take, for example, this whole thing, which equals a, and we are going to say that each one is 1/4 a because it's divided into 4, so each one is 1/4, which makes sense. And let's take the first one, which is 1/2 a. So 1/2 would be 2 of these, because it's 1/2 of the bar model. And then we're going to add this to another one that's divided into 4. Each one is 1/4 a. The whole thing is a. So we just want to color in that 1/4 to say 1/4 a. Now this whole thing is equal to 2 of these, 1/2 a, plus one of those, 1/4 a. And so total, this becomes 1, 2, 3 fourths a. So in this expression, our answer would equal 3/4 a. That is using our bar model. Okay, you could also do this by just adding these two coefficients, finding the least common denominator. So 1/2 a becomes 1/2 times 2/2, which becomes 2/4 a, and then that's plus 1/4 a. We don't need to change that, so it just stays as 1/4 a, and then that would equal 2 plus 1 over 4a, which equals 3/4 a. Same thing we found up here, so just kind of two ways to do it. You could do least common denominator, or you could do the bar model. Now, let's try an example. Example 2. A says simplify each expression m plus 2/3 m. Remember, m, if you say m, you're basically just saying 1m. So here is method 1. In method 1, we are going to use the bar model. So let's draw out m. We're going to divide it into 3 this time, so each is 1/3 m because there's a 3 here. So this m here is going to take up all of them. It's going to be m, the whole thing, plus 2/3 m. So if this is 1/3, this is 2/3. So when we write that as equals to, we get 1, 2, 3 plus 1, 2. So this is m. This is 2/3 m. This whole thing colored in becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/3. 5/3 m. So the answer to this equals 5/3 m. The second way you could do it is you could find the least common denominator. So let's make m. We're going to turn that into 3/3m because 3/3 is just equal to 1. So those are equivalent. Plus 2/3 m equals 3 plus 2/3m equals 5/3 m is our answer. B, same thing. We're going to do it in 2 methods. Here's the problem. 1/4 y plus 1/6 y. So let's do method 1. And here we can see that y is going to be a long bar. Now, which do we pick? Up here, it was easy because we divided it into 3s because there was a 3 here. But here, we have a 4 and we have 6. So which do we divide it by? Well, we will have to divide it by the least common denominator. 4 is multiplied by 2, that's 8. 6 doesn't go into 8. 4 multiplied by 3 is 12. 6 does go into 12, so we're going to divide this into 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now 1/4. If each of these is 1/12 y, to get to 1/4 of this whole bar, 1/4 of 12 is 3. So that becomes 1/4 of y. Remember, if this whole thing is y. And then 1/6 of y, well, 1/6 of 12 of these 12 bars is just going to be 2. Okay, because that can fit in here 6 times. So this becomes 1/6 y. So we have 3 plus 2, and the 3 plus the 2 is equal to 5. So in total here, in this little space, we have 5/12 y. So our answer is 5/12 y. We could also do this by just finding the least common denominator. Least common denominator, so bring this down, 1/4, we're going to take it times 3 and 3, which becomes 3/12. 1/6, we're going to take this down, sorry, that's a y there, and that becomes 1/6 times 2/2, because remember, we want to get that to 12, we want to get that to 12. So 6 times 2 equals 12, so it becomes 2/12 y, which is equal to 3 plus 2/12 y equals 5/12 y. Same answer. Go and try this on guided practice 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. That is all I have for this video.